Hey guys, so I wanted to put out a video about video games. Been going back and forth for the past, I don't know, weeks, months, about how I wanted to actually make one. And since I started vlogging, I figured what better idea than instead of doing a top 5 to top 10 favorite video games of all time, I'm going to instead put out a video, this one, about a whole bunch of different questions regarding video games. So here we go. Okay, so what I have in front of me is our proper English, 20 questions that have to do with video games. So I'm going to go through them and we'll see what we get. So, question number 1. What is your favorite genre of game? That one's a toughie, but I'm going to have to go with RPG/action. Kind of like what Skyrim, Fallout, for that kind of whole thing. Or Fallout in general. But that kind of whole thing. Do you prefer to play on a certain console? As of right now, it is kind of a mix of 3 different consoles: PS4, PC, and 3DS. So I'm kind of going in between all those at the moment. Question number 3, which do you prefer in games? So there's a list of things here. You have graphics, gameplay, user interface, music and sounds, customization, and AI. Well, in all honesty, it's a mix between gameplay/story, because that's what keeps you engulfed in the game. But then in the background, what keeps your mind engulfed in the game is a good soundtrack. So I kind of like the mix between the two. If it's got a good mix of the two, I'm going to be more inclined to play it over and over and over again. Question number 4, do you prefer to play games by yourself or with friends? By myself. I am not a huge fan of multiplayer online. If there is going to be multiplayer, sorry for the cars, it's a beautiful day out and I thought I had my window open. If it does come down to multiplayer, I would much more prefer my friends to come over, hook up another controller, and play from there. I'm not a huge fan of other people online. Who's your favorite video game hero? Kratos. Who's your favorite video game heroine? Sonya Blade from the Mortal Kombat series. That may shock a few people. I really don't hear her name being tossed around a whole lot. If you could pick one video game, this is number 7, if you could pick one video game inspired land to live in, which would it be and why? This one is going to be Stardew Valley. I'm a huge fan of relaxation, and I would much rather have, I was going to say Skyrim, but then you got dragons and raiders, and it's just not a good place to live, so I'm going to go with Stardew Valley just because of the whole, you inherited a crappy house and plot of land, and you got to build them up, and you're basically a farmer/fisherman/ everything else in that game, I guess. Harvester, forager, blacksmith. You're basically a whole bunch of things in that one little game, and it's very relaxing. Okay, so next question is number 8. What is your favorite video game weapon? Ooh, this one is a toughie. Just for the fact that there are so many to pick from. I really don't have a favorite. It's more or less the Blades of Chaos from the God of War series, the Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts. You have, I think it's the MR or MA50. I know in Far Cry 4 there's a sniper rifle, and it is insanely powerful and good. Very versatile weapon. Later on in the game when you max it all out. Awesome weapon. In Onimusha Warlords, there were 3 weapons, each based on elements. You had wind, electricity, and fire. All 3 of those were amazing weapons to have. So it's as long as they're not really gun-based. I'm not a huge fan of guns, except for the one from Far Cry. One I forgot before I forget. That didn't make sense. I'm sorry. Never mind. The bows in the Elder Scrolls video games. The Daedric bow, to be exact, that's the one that I fell in love with. You can get one made out of dragon bones, glass, yada yada, all that good stuff. But the Daedric bow is probably my favorite. That bow in general is just overpowered, or all the bows are in that game. What is your favorite classic game? And this one I had to change a little to fit my standards. Anything classic to me is anything up to the PS2, the Xbox, Gameboy Advance, and the GameCube. Anything after that is more or less not really classic to me. It may be to some people, not to me. So I'm going to have to go with Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. I can pick that game up anytime and play it. It's got extremely high playability. Yeah, some things may be on and off about the game, and it may not be exactly how Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, especially now. But to me, it's still really good. So, question number 10. If any game can be made into a movie, which would you pick? God of War, I think we've been waiting a long time to get a God of War movie, and I think it would, if done correctly, like say, me particularly, I would like to see the director from the Logan movie. I can't remember his name right off the top of my head, but when he did Logan, I thought he did a fantastic job of capturing that character and the darkness of Logan, and I think it would do a really good job with this. So, number 11. What was the last game you played? Stardew Valley. About a half hour ago. Number 12. What was the first system you remember buying or receiving as a gift? The first one I remember, it's not playing, correct? Buying or receiving as a gift. Okay. So the first one I remember getting was from my parents, and that was the Sega Genesis. Yeah, Sega Genesis. Number 13. What is the first game you remember playing? This is either going to be the first Mario game or Double Dragon for the NES. So I remember that was the first, because my brother had the NES and my half-brother had the NES while I had the Genesis. And I remember playing Double Dragon a lot with him, as well as the Mario games, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so which game has the best storyline, and what game has the best music? So both of these are going to be different to me. The best music is a toss-up between Skyrim, Kingdom Hearts, and Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is creeping up slowly to take over those, just for the fact that it's extremely relaxing. I can play the game, and while I'm hearing it in the background, I'm relaxing more and more as I listen to it. So that's that. Best storyline would be Kingdom Hearts. I was gonna say Stardew Valley, but that one has a horrible, not horrible. It's an amusing storyline, but it's not nearly as good as any of the other games on this list. But Kingdom Hearts has, to me, one of the better storylines. Let's go to number 15. Scariest moment in a video game. I remember playing, and this doesn't scare me now, but way back in the day, when I first started playing Onimusha Warlords, there was a lab, I want to say it was a lab, and I was walking into it, and there were big tubes on the sides. There were, I think, 3 or 4 on each side. And as I'm walking down these tubes, or in the middle of them, I wasn't walking, I was running. I made the mistake of not looking around my surroundings, and I just ran through the middle of them. And when I did, all of them broke open at one time, scared the crap out of me because demons popped out and they started attacking me. Scared the crap out of me. 16. Most heart-wrenching moment in a video game. That one is extremely tough. I don't really attach myself to a bunch of sad moments. PS4. I remember playing, I was streaming it on Twitch at the time. It was The Walking Dead Season 1 from the Telltale's video game series. And when, I forgot his name, but he was friends with the girl in the game, and spoiler alert for anyone, his kid gets bit, and him and his wife were about to take the kid out into the forest to end his life, to spare him, and unfortunately, his wife went ahead of him, and while he was sitting there talking to some people before they were moving on, and I think it was a train or something like that, he heard a gunshot. And as soon as I heard the gunshot, my mouth dropped, my heart sank, and I knew exactly what she did. I want to say she killed her son and then committed suicide. I think that's what it was. But that whole moment in that whole first season of The Walking Dead for that series, which just blew me away. It was the most heart-wrenching thing. So, favorite mobile game. That one is going to be Digimon Heroes. I'm not gonna say huge fan. I'm a fan of Digimon. Used to watch it when it first came out, and lost interest about 4 seasons into it. And then I'm starting to pick it back up now, game-wise with Next World Order, and now Digimon Heroes on the mobile. Highly recommend that game. Very fun. 18, favorite franchise. This one has gone back and forth over the last few years. Pokemon would have been it, but I don't like where they're going in the past few years. Gran Turismo, over time, has progressed and done well. I'm gonna go with Pokemon. Overall, I think Pokemon would be good. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Pokemon, even though the last few years have kind of pissed me off a little. The beginning years of Pokemon were amazing and excellent. I loved them. Number 19. If any video game could be made into a ride at a park, which would you pick? Halo would be cool, and so would God of War. The only issue with both of those would be that they have such an in-depth story. It's like, okay, where would you draw the line on what to put in the ride and what not to put in the ride? Bloodborne, this is an interesting take on this. I would say Bloodborne on a horror-based ride. I think it would be very cool, very different. You don't get a whole lot of those. I think it would be interesting. Number 20. What are your top 3 favorite video games of all time? This one is not as concrete as I thought. I was thinking about this one for, months, over a year now. And this one isn't as concrete as what most people would think. I am a huge fan of Pokemon, like you guys know. Huge fan of Skyrim. Huge fan of Kingdom Hearts, God of War, Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. But over time, and Stardew Valley has been slowly creeping up in that list. But over time, games have gone out. I thought Skyrim was going to be in the top 3. It's not. Top 3 would be Stardew Valley in number 3. Number 2 would be Kingdom Hearts. And number 1 would be Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Kingdom Hearts is slowly creeping into number 1. Just because of how Pokemon has progressed over the years, it's becoming more and more my least favorite game, which is really surprising to me. Gold and Silver will remain, they'll always be in the top 2. It's just that Kingdom Hearts with the story, and I'm going back now and playing it again on the PS4, it's a very different feel. Like I'm getting more and more into the story. So to me, I would pick Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal as number 1, and then Kingdom Hearts is number 2, and then Stardew Valley to pick up the rear. So there you go. Alright, so that was a blast. A lot of those questions actually got me thinking. Wasn't ready for a few of them, especially the heroine question, because I've never actually played a whole lot of games as a female protagonist. But I had a lot of fun. I will make sure to put all the questions, these questions, in the description below. Feel free to take any of them, answer them in the comment section, and I will see you guys later. Take care, and peace out.